UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Welcome to UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Ralph Irvin. This week we're going to look at the volleyball courts, and then we're going to take a look at the academic side of student athletes.
UCLA has some very exciting upcoming events. Let's take a look.
Dan Connors is in his 4th season as an assistant coach with the UCLA women's volleyball team. After graduating from UCLA in 2001, he played professionally in Spain and then joined the coaching ranks, working at Cal State Northridge and Occidental College. Now at UCLA, every season that he's been with the team, they've made it as far as the NCAA regionals. Dan, thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
We'll talk about this coming season. You're about to embark on the 2009 fall campaign, and how do you feel about this year's team getting started so far?
Well, this season's exciting. We've lost some seniors that have been in the program for obviously 4 years, one of them 5 years, and we're not necessarily starting over, but we got a lot of young kids coming in, some good freshmen, and we're excited to see how they progress in this year, in the early season, and then how they can contribute toward the end and the playoffs when it's really important.
Well, last year you were 22-11, but again, losing seniors, bringing in a lot of freshmen. Is it a case of you just don't even worry about last year and you just focus on seeing if these players can mesh together as a unit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every season is a new year, and you start over pretty fresh. And it's about that season and getting those kids involved and seeing where they can contribute and where they can play their roles and getting them competing against each other but competing and enjoying each other as well.
We hear a lot about new players. So with all of these new players coming, who do you feel is going to make the biggest impact on the team this year?
There's several of them that can. I'd say Rachel Kidder. She can come in and play. She's a big hitter, 6'3", long, jumps well, and she can hit the ball hard. So I expect her to contribute on some level down the road. I'm not sure exactly where. We haven't got her in the gym yet, but from what I've seen of her, I expect her to be on the floor, performing, putting balls away, and definitely contributing. Also, Lauren Cook is a young setter coming in, and her team just won the Junior Olympics, and she's a fantastic leader, runs a great offense, and she's very experienced, knows what she's doing. She's going to give Stephanie Nucci a run for her money at the setting position.
When you have freshmen come in, are you looking as much at skill, or is it maybe that they come in with the attitude? I mean, I would expect that players playing at the high school level don't necessarily have the competitiveness that you expect for someone starting at UCLA.
Well, some of them do, and those are the kids we like to recruit, is those kids that live and breathe winning.
That have that fire.
Right. They need that fire, and those are the kids we want in our program. And you know, Lauren, she has that fire. She lives and breathes winning, and you know, you develop the skills throughout the season with the training, but it's a lot harder to develop that competitiveness. We try and create that competitive atmosphere in the gym, but a lot of it is what you got in you when you come here, and we look for the kids that have that competitive bug.
Well, there's 7 freshmen coming in. You've got 7 juniors and seniors total. So there's a lot of growing to do, but also how well the older players can connect with the younger players.
Yeah, it's very lopsided as far as we're a young team. We have a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and the experienced players, they've been through it. They know what it's like to be a freshman and a young player on this team. And so our group is very willing to put themselves out there and help people along and show people, you know, the way it's done and how to contribute and how to be competitive and how to act in practice and how to act outside of practice. And you know, there's a lot of leadership role that you take as you get older in the program.
Is that something that you really encourage the older players to really, I mean, don't want to say mentor, but really kind of help out the younger players, just getting adapted to not only the college game, but just college life?
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely role models. They've been through it, and we have high expectations for them to show the younger kids how it's done and you know what to expect. You know, it's nice that we get the players here on Sunday, and we'll have about a month and a half before school starts.
Right.
And so that's when it really hits them as far as the time management and distractions that come along with school going all the time. So.
You've been with the program for a few seasons now. How do you feel like it's improved since you've come here?
Well, Andy's established an incredible program here, and to say that it's improved would be a little arrogant of me. I'd say I've tried to maintain and just be a part of what he's established here, and you know, I try and bring a good attitude and teach the players what I know, and I'm enthusiastic about it. I love coaching, and so I just try to contribute whatever I can. But to say it's improved, Andy's established something pretty great here, and I'm just happy to be involved with it.
What are your specific duties on the staff?
I do a lot of video breakdown. Every week we have a couple Pac-10 matches that I have to prepare the video for and show to the players and kind of develop a game strategy. So I take on a lot of that role. As far as in the gym, I work a lot with the blockers.
Okay.
And so I'd say I work more specifically with blockers, but one nice thing about Andy is he allows his assistants to be a part of whatever they want to be a part of. So if I see another skill that I want to teach, it's not like, no, you're just the blocking coach. He lets me go ahead and work with every skill and you know, develop as an all-around coach.
How did it feel to return to Westwood after being away for 5 years? Did you notice a lot of changes?
The campus is constantly changing with all the construction, and I just love being on campus. It's amazing. There's lots of energy here, and you know, I was at Northridge for 3 years, and I loved my experience at Northridge, but it just doesn't have that big athletic department, big campus feel that UCLA does, and the pride in the athletic department is a lot different. I think as a Bruin, you have a lot of pride in your athletic department, and I just love being around that.
I would imagine that there was also a transition from having played men's volleyball to then coaching women's, because while it's the same sport, it's also different. Or is it?
I would say you teach the same skills, and you know, it's physics. You know, ball goes up, ball comes down. I mean, you teach it the same way. I have been a little more conscious of how I say things because there's a different level of sensitivity.
Okay.
I think, And I think, but that would be the only difference that I've really found. It's volleyball is volleyball.
I would guess that playing with Coach Skates was just maybe a different environment because of the nature of the competition on that team versus, say, with the women's team.
Oh, absolutely. The programs are run very differently, and you know, it's not to say the one's better than the other. They're just run differently, and it's the nature of maybe coaching guys versus coaching girls, or the ability that Skates has to bring in so many guys and keep that competitive atmosphere where we're limited in our scholarships to 12, and there's so many other opportunities for girls out there to play volleyball that they're going to go get a scholarship somewhere else. Where with boys, they're limited to 4, but there aren't that many opportunities. So they get a lot of players coming in because of the limited opportunity, and it creates a more competitive environment. And so
I would imagine, though, that as a young coach, it shows you that, I mean, here are the 2 winningest coaches in the history of the sport of volleyball that coach totally differently, and it really can show you that there isn't necessarily a right or a wrong way, it's just finding your way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's something that Andy does very well, is he allows me to find what works well for me, and he knows that I want to do the best I can and be the best coach I can. So he allows me that freedom to try things, and then he also mentors me a little bit if I start straying and getting maybe a little too tough, and so it's nice that I have that freedom to develop my own style as a coach.
Would you say you have a preference between coaching men's or women's volleyball? Has it changed the way that you kind of approach the game a little bit?
I don't think I have a preference. I enjoy coaching, whether it's young kids or the best in the world. I love teaching the game and thinking about the strategy, and I'm hyper competitive, and I just want to win, and so I figure out the best way to win, and that's how I work with the upper levels. And then with the kids, I just like seeing them develop and improve, and when they accomplish something that they haven't been able to do, serve the ball over the net or spike or something like that. It's just great to see that they build that confidence and develop as players.
What's it like playing professional volleyball? I mean, there's so many volleyball fans here in Southern California, especially UCLA volleyball fans. What's the environment like playing professionally in Spain?
Well, I think it depends on where you are. Okay. I was in kind of a small town, and they supported their volleyball program, so there were a lot of people around the town that knew me, and that was a little different because I walk around LA and playing on the team, and nobody's going to know me. So that was different. There's a much bigger support of volleyball overseas, and I was in a small town, but if you get into some big towns where they really support their team and support volleyball, and I think my average crowd was maybe 800 to 1,000 when I was in Spain, but you can get up to 10,000 in some gyms.
Wow.
And I didn't experience that, but talking with some friends of mine that have and play in Italy or Russia, and there's a lot of support for volleyball overseas, and the fans really get into it.
Well, I would imagine that coaching really is your future now.
Oh yeah.
It's you're done playing.
I'm definitely done playing. I still enjoy getting out there and playing a bit, but coaching is where I see myself.
All right, well, Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to thank Dan Connors for joining us here on UCLA Bruin Talk. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the academic side of the UCLA Athletic Department with Dr. Christina Rivera. It's all coming up right here on UCLA Bruin Talk.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions made here.
Welcome back to UCLA Bruin Talk. Coming up, we're going to talk about the academic side of student athletes here at UCLA. But first, Stephanie has this week's Athlete of the Week.
This week we honor Ryann Krais of the UCLA Track and Field as our Student Athlete of the Week. She recently won the silver medal in the heptathlon competition at the 2009 Pan Am Junior Championships. Ryann scored 5,454 points during the weekend Pan Am competition, with 988 of these coming from her 13.93 100-meter hurdles time, the best of the day. She has also achieved a lifetime best high jump clearance of 5 feet and 9 1/4 inches. She continued her victory streak through day 2, winning the long jump with a mark of over 18.5 feet and nearly a 4-second win in the 800 meter. As she is just becoming a sophomore, we anticipate seeing more of this exceptional dedication and success. Congratulations, Ryann, and good luck to the rest of the team. If you would like additional information about UCLA athletics, please call our fan phone line at 310-825-8575 or visit us on the web at www.uclabruins.com.
Dr. Christina Rivera is just starting her 3rd year as the Assistant Athletic Director for Academic Services for the Athletic Department. She is a former letter winner, a women's soccer player at UC Irvine, and earned her doctorate at Ohio State in philosophy and higher education, working at Ohio State as an academic counselor and also as the Associate Director and Eligibility Coordinator at USC, working with their academic and athletic teams. And she joins us here. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's start with the basics. What exactly goes on in academic and student services with the UCLA Athletic Department?
Well, Academic and Student Services is a very comprehensive program. It consists of 4 main areas, all to help our student athletes achieve what we hope is their main academic goal, which is graduation. The 4 main areas comprise of academic counseling, academic support services, and student support services, and then lastly, student athlete development. We have 12 full-time staff members, all dedicated to help our student athletes achieve both their academic and personal goals. We take a very holistic approach, and we really hope that while the students are here, they are able to really develop a strong relationship with our staff and have an enriched academic and personal experience.
And I would imagine that that's really something that maybe is a little bit different with UCLA. It just seems like there is a lot of former student athletes that are working behind the scenes to help the student part of the student athlete process.
Absolutely. Many of our staff members in our office are actually former graduates of UCLA, which I think really helps the student athletes a lot. They're able to develop a strong relationship because they've been through it.
Could you describe your role specifically as an assistant athletic director?
Sure. I take a more of an administrative role. My job is to oversee all of the different programs to help our students achieve their goals. On a daily basis, I am evaluating academic eligibility. I am working with our Covell tutorial program to ensure our students have tutorial support. We have 19 interns. We're running an internship program. Wow. So we're working with them to develop young professionals who are interested as a career in this field. We have a learning center that comprises of 25 computers that our student athletes can use on a daily basis. There's so much going on a daily basis that sometimes I have no idea what to expect when I walk through the door. But it's exciting. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I really appreciate being here in this community.
Well, I know one of the programs that you have is the Success Program.
Sure.
Could you talk about what is Success?
Absolutely. Success stands for student athletes understand that character creates educational self-sufficiency. Basically, what we hope is not only when they leave, they have a degree in their hand, but they've become self-sufficient, independent learners. What that really means is that they learn how to learn.
Right.
And it's very difficult at times for students to grasp that because they go through their high school career, they've done extremely well, they may have been in honors classes, AP classes, done well on SATs, ACTs, have high GPAs, and they come to college and we're telling them, do you know how to learn? Mm-hmm. Learning is a lifelong process, and it takes a lot of skills, and it takes a mature, sophisticated attitude, and that's what we're hoping. During that first year, many of our students don't really understand what it means to be at the college level academically. They think they do, but the gap sometimes between high school and college can be much greater than what it's expected. So that first year, the way I describe it is I tell the students, let me drive the bus for the first year. You sit back, you watch, and I will show you how to go about learning. We do that through our tutorial program. We do that through our academic mentoring program. We do it when we're doing our academic counseling. We do it in workshops that we dedicate to teamwork, leadership, and character. By the end of the first year, we're hoping the students have some of those characteristics of that self-sufficient, independent learner. Some of them take a little bit longer, okay? Some of them leave and they still don't have all the characteristics. But the main idea is for them to understand that their success is within their control. A lot of times, if a student doesn't do well in the course, the first idea to come out of their mouth is, well, it was the professor's fault, or I didn't get, my tutor wasn't effective, or my mentor didn't help me with my time management or my organization. Ownership is projected out rather than inward, and that's what we're really trying to have our students understand, is that they do have full control of their successes as well as failures. And with failure comes great opportunity. And a lot of times that's a little bit difficult for them to understand, but we really think that we've done a pretty good job of helping them manage that, so that come the second year, I turn the wheel over to them and they start driving the bus.
I would imagine that it's kind of a change of philosophy also, because a lot of people are thinking, I take a class in order to pass it.
Sure.
Instead of, I'm taking a class to learn something.
Right.
And at the same time, that they can take this type of information, this type of skill that they're learning, and translate that actually into their sports.
Right.
So that they tend to learn a little bit more instead of just going out and competing, they're actually learning about the game they play.
Right. Well, imagine you're an economics major, right? And part of the general education curriculum says that you need to go and take a historical analysis course, and you are taking a history class.
Okay.
If I'm an economics major and my goal is to go and work on Wall Street, why in the world do I want to learn anything about history? Well, what they need to understand that it is more than just history. It's skill building. And so in every single course you take, you are filling your toolbox with more skills. So in history, take it a little bit further. Take it and say that I am going to assist myself in terms of writing. I'm really going to develop my analytical skills, my problem solving skills. Maybe it's going to require me to learn about the library. So when the students start to focus too much on the course content, oh, it's history. I'm not interested in, U.S. history from the 18th century or the 19th century. I just want to do math. I just want to do economics. I tell them, think a little bit more globally. Look at what you're going to take away from that class and fill your toolbox.
Right.
Being an athlete at UCLA comes with many, many advantages. What do you think the biggest ones are from the athletic department that students should take advantage of when they first come into school?
Priority enrollment is definitely one of the biggest privileges. As you know, the state is going through a budget crisis, and with that, it has directly affected the students in the course offerings. We have several departments who are not able to offer the same amount of courses that they have done in the past. And therefore, because student athletes have priority enrollment, they could take advantage of that and enroll in the courses that they need. So that has been one of the best privileges for them, especially during these recent times. I would say the next one is tutorial support. The lovely thing about UCLA is all students at UCLA are able to receive tutorial support. In last year, the actual number of students participating in tutorial was over thousands of students, because the Covell Tutorials program has 3 different labs. It has the Math Science Lab, the English Composition and ESL Lab, and the Athletics Tutorial. Well, unfortunately, due to budget cuts, the Composition Lab has been temporarily suspended. So general students do not have as many tutorial opportunities as they've had in the past. Our student athletes, their athletics lab has not been cut, and they can continue to receive support, not only in those subject areas, but many other subjects. We probably have tutoring in about 125 different classes.
Wow.
Well, I would imagine, we're obviously reaching more than just student athletes with this show, and that's something that is someone like yourself who studied higher education, to encourage all students to get tutoring, because maybe you're doing fine in the class and maybe you'll get a B, but a little bit of tutoring might push you up to an A. That there's always room for improvement, and that's where you get that improvement whether you're a student athlete or not.
Right, and that takes a very mature student to understand that. You know, unfortunately, tutoring sometimes gets a negative stigma. People think it as it's a remediation. You don't understand the course content. That's why you need a tutor. Well, actually, some students utilize it because they don't want an A-, they want an A.
Right.
Some students, granted, need it in order to pass the course, but we have many students that take advantage. For instance, during your freshman year, most of our freshmen are mandated tutorial support. We have about 150 or so students who are in mandated tutoring. But we have about 450 to 500 of our student athletes who use tutorial support on a weekly or even daily basis. Okay. So we have more students who are volunteering to use those services than are actually mandated. And that's because they've learned. They learned through their first year that actually tutorial support is extremely beneficial to their success here. Because it's not just the tutor sitting there and telling you the answers. That's not what tutoring is about. It's peer learning. It's facilitation of ideas.
Well, there's also the fact that when you're talking about in a class setting, there's a little bit of intimidation in talking even to a graduate assistant, let alone a professor. Whereas here you're basically talking to someone that's on your level that probably speaks the language you're a little bit more used to.
Absolutely. And what the other benefit of it is say, for instance, the women's volleyball team is going to travel up to the University of Washington, and they have to leave Wednesday night. So they're going to miss class Thursday and Friday. What's great about it is that come Monday, they can go into their tutorial session and look across the room and ask one of their teammates, okay, from another team, to see if they can look at their class notes, or can you fill in the gap in terms of my understanding of this reading. And then the following week, that person goes on a road trip, and then and the volleyball student can come and help them out. So it's sort of this teamwork atmosphere in which the students are helping each other fill in the gaps because of their competition schedule.
Well, what are your goals for the academic services at UCLA with the athletic department?
Our goals are to continue to allow our students to strive to reach that ultimate goal, which is to obtain their degree. That will never change. That will always be our goal, and it will always be our goal to make them self-sufficient, independent learners. But on a short term, we really want to expand our faculty mentor program. We have a lot of students who are interested in going to graduate school, professional school, and they really need to develop those relationships with the faculty. It's the faculty recommendation letters that are going to make a huge difference on their acceptance. And so if we could develop a mentor program in which faculty are involved and are able to communicate their interests and to help really take some of our students under their wings, I think will be very beneficial. We have a lot of students who are interested in medicine, yet they've never had an internship. They've never had the opportunity to be in a lab.
Right.
They've never had the opportunity to do research. So to involve current faculty to help our students take advantage of those opportunities would be great.
Well, Dr. Rivera, thanks for joining us.
Oh, absolutely, anytime.
I want to thank Dr. Christina Rivera for joining us, as well as women's volleyball assistant coach Dan Connors. And thank you for joining us as well as we give you this inside look at the UCLA Athletic Department. For Stephanie Wetmore, I'm Ralph Irvin, and thank you for joining us for UCLA Bruin Talk.
Thank you.